you haven't solved the problem. And when you come to an impasse in two conflicting parties, the best thing you can do is what, Matt? Walk away. But if you want the situation resolved, you bring in a third party, right?
Yeah,
bring in a mediator to hear both sides of the situation, which is what the players did. They went out, they get this management consultant. He volunteered to analyze the situation for him and would produce a proposal that he figured would solve the problems. Comes out with, of course, as all analysts do, a probably much longer list than he needed to, but it was a 23-page report that he gave to the PGA and tournament division and suggested that you have the PGA and the tournament division and they become separate entities that are housed under one roof. So the PGA would continue to operate with its current structure, and the tour would be overseen by this board of players, outside experts who would hire a commissioner to run its day-to-day. All these different suggestions, which sound like a good idea. They sound like a really good idea. But...
And it sounds like it's what we have today.
It does sound like what we have today, but
it was not that simple.
It was not that simple.
It was not that simple. The players, first of all, didn't jump all over it, number one. They wanted to still try and see if there was something they could figure out on their own. But in November, so about 2 months later, the PGA president, Max Elbin, basically told the players, get in line or get out.
Which is always the best way to lead. That's always the best response.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's just throw gasoline.
Why do I have to do that? Because I said so. Like the great parenting tip from Max Elbin. Because I said so. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Max.
So then rumors started circulating that the players were considering dumping the PGA entirely and starting their own tour. And word spread that there was a TV deal for $100,000 for the World Series of Golf and Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. And that happened without talking to any of the players. And that money would not go to the tournaments, but into a general PGA. This money is coming from the guys who are playing on the tour. The guys sitting there inside of clubhouses are not doing anything to get this money brought in. And yet they're going to be getting the major share of the pot. And it really came up more when Nicklaus got vocal. So he missed the cut in the 68 PGA Championship, asked what he thought of the field, which had only 56 touring pros, but 112 club pros. Again, this is Nicklaus, the greatest of all time, maybe. Top two for sure. It's absurd and it's unfortunate is what he had to say about the field, which obviously ruffled some feathers at the PGA.
But isn't that his right,
Meanwhile, while the playing is happening...
But it's 100%, and you can't really fault Nicklaus for speaking out.
No.
Which we'll get to Phil, and we brought up Phil at the beginning. They set the stage for this.
You could say you should have played better.
Right.
You could have, you could take that stance of, Jack, you should have played better and made the cut, but when, 2/3 of the field are not the guys that are normally doing this thing, and now you're muddying it up, and I'll bet you pace of play wasn't what it was supposed to be. I bet you there's plenty of reasons for why Jack, who also probably mentally is exhausted from having to deal with this as well, plays into it. But you could say just play better and make the cut. This is what ended up.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?